Polio transmission, as we said, continue from two countries. Next slide. We said that Ladoke was the next slide. So what is the problem? Why do we still have polio? Yes, next slide. We have what we call low immunization rate all over Nigeria and Africa. And once the immunity of children is very low, then definitely they will be affected by polio variants in their various communities, especially if the level of hygiene and availability of potable water is very low. We have 36 states in Nigeria, and we find out that we have some states where polio routine immunization is very low. The highest is in Lagos and Oyo State. The lowest of 13% is in the northern states. Sokoto, Kebbi, Zamfara, Katsina. They have very low levels of routine immunization, and therefore transmission of this mutant virus is still very high in those areas. Yes, next slide. We cannot reach many children because of insecurity, especially in the north. And this is why we still keep talking of polio. There is a lot of insecurity. Many places are not reachable, and therefore many children cannot be immunized. And we must continue to ensure that a child that is still having polio is a threat to all children in the world. Therefore, we must keep doing that. Because of this, next slide, because of insecurity, there are displaced and trapped population of children. And we must find a way of reaching these children. Next slide. There is no compliance, despite the fact that we have polio at 0 in Nigeria, and there is low level of RI, routine immunization. Yet, some areas, some fathers, some mothers are refusing that they should not be giving polio vaccine. And that endangers the life of many children. It's our duty as Rotarians to assist through what we call advocacy in various areas that we are. Because we know Rotarians are community leaders. They are community leaders, and therefore they can engage the community where they are working, where they are living, to ensure that unmet children or missed children are immunized due to this displaced and trapped immunization. That's the refusal, compliance rate is high in some places, low in some places, but still the non-compliance rate still there as a problem. And that's why we must continue to make a lot of effort and ensure that we do this. The next slide still talks about poor quality of vaccination rights. There again, we come in as Rotarians. You will find that many of the field workers sometimes they throw away the vaccine in the gutter and fill the forms that they have actually denied when all the vaccine were thrown into the ground because they don't want to engage in moving around either from house to house or even fix food. So because of that, there is always poor quality of immunization during SIA, supplemental immunization activity, which are those. But most importantly, is to ensure that children get their various vaccinations during the night. So that poor quality of immunization is caused by, well, reluctance and then weak knowledge and the fact that several people are not doing what they should do. So as Rotarians, we need to do supervision. And therefore, we're encouraging clubs all over to go to the local governments in our various communities where your club is and engage them in discussion, in supervision. Once they see Rotarians on the field, they have a lot of regard for what we started this program. And because you are not committed, you are respected, your voice is respected and always adhered to. Because you are not a civil servant, you are not UNO, you are not WHO, you are just neutral, and as such, you find yourself being given the necessary recognition. So when you're on the field, you can stop the various activities that are not being right, like marking, like ensuring that the child is united, like ensuring that the forms are properly filled. Forms are properly what? Completed. How many of us have ever been to the field? Yes, that's one. How many have been to the field? Only one. Two. Three. So you can see the importance of this type of seminar. Because most Rotarians don't appear committed. You know, most Rotarians don't even know that these things are there. And that's the essence of seminars like this, to continuously update our knowledge, to continuously create awareness, even among Rotarians, to know that polio eradication is Rotary's greatest priority. And getting to the field is also very crucial. Like the DPPC said, it's very, very important that Rotarians are constantly motivated, encouraged to be on the field, encouraged to contribute. It's our business. So we must take ownership of this business of polio eradication. Is that right? Yes. Yes, sir. Is that right? Yes, sir. I hope I've not done been talking, you've been listening. So there is next slide. Next slide, there is the gated estates, where you find that many people in gated estates are not allowing immunization to come into the play. In some schools, in churches, You cannot go and unite. There are mosques. You cannot go and unite. But if Rotarians get there, they usually listen to us. I've been to several mosques. I've been to several gated communities, gated estates. I've been to churches. And there was a time we were in church, and there was a big preaching that vaccination is not true. We have to meet the overseer, tell him and that there is nothing wrong with vaccination, and there is no overdose. There is no overdose of the vaccine. You can take it as many times as possible, so long as the vaccine is what? Potent. At stage what? 1. The highest. As it goes down, it becomes stage that is not safe and it's not infectious. So a vaccine must be seen as potent. That's one of the things we need to do. When we are starting immunization, we get there early before the immunizers go out, and you are going to see what is the potency of the vaccine they are going to use. There are 3 marks on that vaccine: white, yellow, black. The white shows you is the highest level and it's very good. When it gets to black, it's no longer useful. So it's ideal so that they are kept at their temperature, and as they are leaving to go and immunize, they are going out with the right vaccine in their various vaccine boxes which they carry. So those are some of the actions that Rotarians will be involved in. Well, we have the attack on all health workers. We find out that in the last, we've lost many health workers through Boko Haram, through refusal, and fortunately, Rotary has also created scholarships for children of health workers that were killed, and the scholarship is still on. This is a message to even our various communities to let you know that Rotary is working. Rotary is doing, for instance, since 1985, 2 billion children have been immunized through the effort of Rotary. Don't you clap for yourself? Clap and clap for yourself. It's your money. It's your money that is being spent because you pay bills. You contribute to TRF. So all this money we are talking about is you Rotarians that have spent it. We all contribute to TRF, isn't it? And TRF is the major sponsor of polio eradication in the world. We have spent over $50 billion since 1985. Is that not a lot of money? So it's your money we are spending. So you should be proud of yourself. You should let your club know. You should let all Rotarians know that at least each Rotarian is contributing to ensure that polio is eradicated from the world, and that you have a gift to the children of the world when polio is finally eradicated. I can beat your check that your money is part of that eradication effort. So don't think that you are not involved. You are, because you are contributing money. Not only you are going out against all risks to go to monitor what is happening on this. You are doing advocacy for polio eradication. I talk to you. by talking to government, by talking to the community where you are. That you are doing. So you are not only spending money, you are spending your effort. So clap for yourself. It's your money. Well, there are the next slide, whether like that's what I told you earlier on, issues in the vaccine value chain. And that's what I told you about the quality of the vaccine and the stages which those vaccines are. And we are to ensure that the vaccine giving is that is most acceptable, most potent. That's the carrier that all the organizations take around during the SIA and other activities. Yes, next. Then earlier on, funding gap. Many of us are aware that there is what we call global polio eradication initiative. How many of us are aware of that? And that initiative is by all the governments of the world. The CDC, WHO, Rotary, and lately, Bill and Medical Gates. And they are all raising money to ensure that that gap is reduced over the years. Like I told you, the goalpost has now been shifted to what? 20, and all of us must ensure that 2029 is what? Sacrosanct. 2039 is sacrosanct. And we need money. We need money. So the DPPC told us that every Rotarian is to contribute how much? $10. How much? $10. And that in District 112, we don't want zero. We don't want what? 0 club. This club is to contribute how much? 1,000. So the polio brought chairman in each club must encourage the president and members not only to be zero giving, but to ensure that we contribute $1,500. Now, the gap, you know that when the Gates came on, was and is still on, for every naira that Rotary gives, he gives 2 naira. Clap for the Gates. And every year, the International Polio Fund sets a goal that we must meet in order to ensure that this funding gap is given all the impetus it needs. And there are still that every club must contribute 1,500. Every Rotarian must do what? $10. And then there is what we call Polio Plus Society. And every Rotarian can contribute $100 every year and become a member of Polio Plus Society. All these are there towards raising, meeting this gap that we have. And what do clubs do? Yes, next slide. Next slide, any suggestions to what this things we should do? we volunteer, we create awareness, we advocate, and we give. Volunteerism is in the various field activities, as I told you. We have the NIDs. What is NID? National Immunization Days. We have SNID. What is that? What is SNID? National Immunization Days. We have OBR. What is OBR? Outbreak response. NID is twice a year, May and October, and is fixed by the federal government. National Immunization Days is also fixed by the federal government and is in those states that are always having a high level of mutant variants. So we need to volunteer and participate. And the DPP also told us about the World Polio Day. World Polio Day. Every club must record all the activities that you carry out on World Polio Day. Last year, District 9126 was second all over the world. Do we want to be number one? Do you want to be number one? Yes. 9112. Then we have to record all activities. Like the people said, that this seminar is already 4 activities. By all crops, any activity you carry out towards the World Polio Day should be what? Should be what? And that's the only way we can come from. Because all the districts are gearing up to beat each other. Last year, 9112 did not feature at all. Are you going to feature this year? Yes. Please take this back to your various clubs. That all the activities you are going to undertake towards the World Polio Day must properly what? Properly by February, by October, the platform will be open, in which all these polio activities will be recorded. Any item of activity should be recorded. The DPPC will let us know when that platform is open. Then we must prepare. Don't let us be lazy about it. Let's record everything so that 2025-2026, District 9112 will be number 1. Am I speaking on your behalf? Yes. Am I? So that's volunteering. We talked about creating awareness, going to the various. Join us now. Why are you running in? Okay, come, let's introduce you. And we give, we advocate at all levels. Now belongs the draw a line in the sand. Make 2025 last year. Next slide. Yes. Are we going to make this year the last year? Yes, next slide. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So, fellow Rotarians, my pleasure to introduce the district governor-elect, District 9111, Sam Ayetu. Where is he? Is he nominated? Oh, okay. How are you? DGN 9111, Sam Ayetu. I thought he's coming to share fellowship. I didn't know it's running it. I will not have it. So thank you very much, all Rotarians. Please let's stay and enjoy the seminar. Thank you.
Thank you, our Iran past district governor. Let's welcome the representative of World Health Organization, representative of UNICEF. Welcome. Fellow Rotarians, to give life to what PDP is available cost spoke to us about. This book, as you can see, so they can walk the story of polio eradication in Nigeria, the polio perspective. The author of the book is the immediately past chairman of the Nigerian National Polio Plus Committee, past district governor. Is a member of the International Polio Plus Committee. And this book, I've bought 2 copies of this book. I've bought 2 copies of this book, and I want to recommend it to clubs and Rotarians. So I need 10 volunteers, 10,000 each for the hard copy. Yes, 1, 2, 3. Please, let's come out so that they can properly recognize us and appreciate us. Please, 10 volunteers. We are not appreciating them enough. Please, let's do. It could be more. I just said minimum. Please, to 10. Yeah. Yes, who has not got one copy? Please, give us more. We have more here. More.
Larry.
We have enough. We have enough. We have enough. We have more than enough. I'm happy that our community is appreciating and see that they are stood up from one house. Take, sir. We have enough. Bring him home. We have enough.
On behalf of the national chairman, PDG Joshua Adam, it's my pleasure to thank you and personally present this book on his behalf. And I want this picture taken so I can send it to him. And where is our media advisor? Media advisor, where is he? Larry and the DG, please join us. Please, let's just give it to them. Media advisor, thank you very much. We are now reviving because this is a book that was written to ensure that all the activities of Rotarians are placed in a book for posterity. But what we have here are the activities of NMPC to ensure that polio is eradicated from Nigeria. And it's an oath to all of us. So on behalf of the national chairman, Part District Governor Joshua, I present it for easy reading and for ensuring that you go on and transmit the law that Rotary is doing a lot.
Sir.
No, let the book show. The book that is important. Yes,
Thank you.
and I want this picture to my chairman. Thank you. Congratulations. Yes. So, the next person, yes.
You all are. Please, let's have the about number of the slide, please.
Okay. Sir.
Yes. Madam, please. Yes. Yes, lady. At least 2 other ladies. Congratulations.
Sir, please join them.
Ladies. Congratulations. Yeah, I know. Another one here. Yeah, another one. Congratulations. Yes. Another bill. Congratulations. Thank you very much. Yes. Thank you very much. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Congratulations.
I've not said
Okay.
who is going?
GT. Where's GT? Oh yeah.
Thank you.
So how many copies?
Hello, dear.
Please, account and give us the receipt now. Please. Now, please. Pay your money now. Please. You are taking a golden handshake. Is that clear? Pay your money now. Thank you very much. God bless you. That can be done quietly. How many people? Hello, how many people? That is the account number and the phone number when you are paying. They pay now.
Please, fellow Rotarians, please pay now to this account. Let's have evidence of it. Please.
How many of us are taking the vote? You have the record?
Yeah, please enter the account on the screen. Please pay now.
Hello, Rotarians. Can you have it? Just raise it up. How many of you do the vote? Raise it up, please. Raise up your hands with the vote.
Oh, you pay. Thank you.
Can we do that quietly, please? Somebody should go around. We can continue. Please, let's sit down. Let's sit down. We want to continue. Can we have some decorum? Please, can we sit down, please? Let's sit down. Let's settle down. Somebody is going around. You don't need to make noise. Can we sit down, please? Our partners here who are going to continue by enlightening us about the polio eradication and the efforts of the Health Organization, UNICEF. They are major partners in this eradication since 1988. And they are here to introduce, so please introduce them. They need to provide, please let's keep quiet, please, so that we can continue.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Our time is fast spent, and in order for us to finish quickly, we need to pick up the pace. But we cannot pick up the pace if we are having discussions, we're having distractions, people are not sitting down, people are making noise. It's going to be difficult to hear ourselves. Hello, sir, hello, man. Those are the bad. Please, if you're going to have discussions, you can have it outside or sit down. Let's go forward, please. All right, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished Rotarians, some time ago we had the seminar for 911, and I believe that there have been a lot of new developments since then. And the latest development will shock even you that you are sitting down. So you need to pay attention. And with us today for this seminar, again, our reliable partner, she's been here with us for several years, is always eager to come and address you, Rotarians, and I believe she will soon become a Rotarian. I'm giving us a hello. Hello. She will soon become All right, ladies and gentlemen, please join me to welcome Dr. Memula Iso, WHO.
Yes. District 9112.
Thank the governor.
And members of District 912. I think it was in July that I was here to present to districts, August, District 911 1. And since that time, we've had changes in the polio landscape in Lagos State. I'll take us very quickly the facts and figures on what our reality is as of today in Lagos State. We'll look at, because I remember that Baba made mention about the Global Cellular Action Plan. And we know that from the time of EPI in 1988 and the declaration for us to be able to eradicate polio, the goalpost has been moved severally. We were able to eradicate one polio virus 1 and 3, which is battling of 2 in some parts of the world, or 1 in some parts of the world. And we developed other new viruses along the way. So the goalpost has been changed. What we had was 2025 to 2026, but based on current findings, the goalpost has been moved now to 2029. We'll go into a little bit of depth on that. We'll look at what our national statistics will say for week 35, not week 31. We'll look about surveillance in Lagos State, and then we'll end with environmental surveillance, and you'll see why. Next slide, please. So we want to talk briefly about the global polio surveillance action plan. Thank you. And this plan has necessitated being adapted and amended. One, we have a worldwide reduction in funding, as we all know. I think reference was made to it. We've not only had a global downturn, economic downturn, we've also had a reduction in the number of donors who are providing money for the polio eradication efforts. So that has necessitated a reduction in workforce globally and also a change in strategic direction. It's not only what we are doing, but how can we do it better and make it more efficient. Next slide, please. So what is the context right now? We were working with 2022-2024 game plan. That has changed now. That will be extended to 2027 and 2029. Right now, we still have WPV1, which is wild polio virus 1, circulation in Afghanistan and Pakistan, and I don't have to explain to you why. We know that we have embattled territories along the borders of Afghanistan and Pakistan, and that the Taliban still rules part of those areas. And there's been a complete and total cessation in the healthcare workforce and in places, which has affected healthcare spread, particularly vaccination of children. And therefore, we have the wild polio virus circulating in areas that are there. We still have continued circulating vaccine-derived polio virus 2, or what we term as CVPV2 right now, which is as due to our vaccines. We're having 4 of our 6 WHO regions that currently have circulation, and that has spawned another outbreak apart from the wild polio virus outbreak. Nigeria was the guinea pig of the test country for the use of the novel OPV2 virus, which was a newer, more stable, and better vaccination, with less likelihood for it to revert to original position and lead to other outbreaks. And we have seen a steady decline in the number of circulating vaccine polio virus epidemics here in Nigeria. ACRO has continued to show us that we are still having orphan viruses in circulation. And what is an orphan virus? This is a virus that has been able to circulate within communities for a period of time. What happens is that you now have a mutation and get a totally new virus that will lead to an outbreak. And just on the 30th to 31st, can we have one house, please? One house, thank you. We were able to detect an orphan virus circulating in Lagos State. So you can see that it's not just data, it has come home to roost. There are polio events and outbreaks in places that had said there was no polio. Canada, Israel, the US, and the UK. And in the US, it was somebody who left Europe, an undocumented refugee who comes from a family where they do not believe in immunization, that brought it into the US. In the UK, environmental surveillance was able to detect circulating virus, which shows you that look, everywhere is one plane ride away, and you never know who. So at the end of the day, polio anywhere is a threat what? Everywhere. And we cannot lay down our oars in this battle. Next slide, please. So the areas in orange are showing us now where the goalpost has moved. We're focusing on 2 main things. How to ensure that the wild polio virus type 1 will be eradicated by 2029. Prior to now, we have looked at an end stage or a date for 2027. Second thing is to ensure that we have an interruption of the circulating vaccine-derived polio virus. We are of course with that because the introduction of the novel OPV virus has led to a steady decline and a reduction. We're still having outbreaks, particularly in the northeast and northwest of Nigeria, because we know we have embattled regions in those places, and kidnapping, banditry, and so on and so forth with Boko Haram insurgency has now made it into something else. The certification of the global eradication is being looked at now at 2029. So the goalpost has moved yet again, but the fight is still on. Next slide. Now, what are the 4 main strategies that we need to refine to ensure that we are working, not just working harder, but working smarter? 4 things: timeliness of detection. Looking at subnational surveillance quality. As a state, Lagos State has met what we call the 2 core indicators for polio. But when we look at LGA level and ward level, we have areas that we have silent wards. We have areas where we have circulation of the virus, as we saw at the end of the month. And then we have gaps, communities that have refused to take the vaccination. We have places, churches and mosques who will not cooperate. We have estates that cannot be accessed, and all of these places form blind spots. Gender equality has been brought up in current day. There's been quite a difference in terms of the health workforce, in terms of our cultural norms and how that affects gender. If a male child comes down with anything that will affect movement, that child is likely to get healthcare access faster than a female child in some parts of this country and in some religions. We all know what the cultural norms are like. Also, if you look at the healthcare workforce, we have predominantly, people think it's female but male. In some areas, we need a gender balance with higher females being able to access communities and ensure that children who are ill will get the care that they require. So there's been a focus now on what we call gender mainstreaming. In any event that we have, we look at how many women and men are involved. Who is actually involved in terms of what happens at community level? How many women are involved? Is the community one that men can go in, or only women can go in? So we understand that integration now. looking at the end of the battle. Within the next 5 years, the plan is that we'll have eradicated polio. But then what happens to the polio assets? What will Rotary do with the assets that you have? What will the WHO do? What will UNICEF do? So they will look at what they call the polio progress plan. And who will they hand over? Those assets will be now taken into other diseases so that it's not wasted. Next slide, please. We have 6 main issues that we look at very quickly. Surveillance sensitivity. It's not enough to just work. We have to define how sensitive. If a child comes down with inability to move the hands and legs, how quickly can the healthcare system detect it? Who are coming to them? Currently now, our lab in Ladoke has now been upgraded to the point where we can actually carry genetic sequencing in country. In the past, those tests have to go to the CDC and land. So the entire system is being refined to ensure that we have rapid response, and not just a rapid response, quality response. Looking at environmental surveillance, that's an adjunct process that we use to support our acute plastic paralysis surveillance. Because you can have the virus circulating quietly in sewage without anybody knowing, and that's what happened on the 30th and 31st. At Makoko, a sample was taken on the 14th of August, and by the end of the month, on the 29th, we got a result to say there has been an orphan virus, circulating vaccine polio virus, circulating for 1.5 years, undetected sewage. It's only a matter of time before it moves into a human being and then we have a full outbreak. So they're trying to optimize the situation. We have 5 sites in Lagos, and by mid-quarter 2, 2026, we plan to have 10 sites, so that we know what's happening in human beings and we know what's happening within this world. They're looking at a different type of surveillance in which some people have what we call an immunodeficiency syndrome. People like that, their immune system does not have the capability to combat the common cold virus. Any exposure to a virus or a bacteria causes their system to go wrong, and they will shed and spread limitless numbers of that germ. So they're looking for people and human beings who have such a condition and focus on them to give the required therapy to ensure that we close one of the gaps that we have in terms of the chain of the polio virus being moved from person to person. Focus there is usually for teaching hospitals, because it's for immunologists, doctors who are internal physicians who are going